Okay, it's another episode of my dad's rambling his mouth off again. He's just throwing this attitude, it's 100% ADHD, because how many times do you ever see a person with dementia driving? I guarantee you 100%. My father still drives, even though he complains that he has cataracts and that he has, what does that doctors call it? Something numbness with, it's a technical word I keep forgetting. Numbness in the fingers, and the, because you get it in your fingers and your feet, and that's what he's doing right now. This morning, I don't know if my young brother fed him, my dad, this morning, and then so my dad was munching off of popcorn. That's the only thing I've seen of him eating popcorn, and then some other items that he has in his box in his room. And there's like munchies in there, like chips and candy. He eats that, and now so he says later on, he says that he goes go in the kitchen and cook me something. Then I did, and I made oatmeal, not oatmeal. I made noodles. I made these noodles with ravioli sauce from the store. So I made enough of that, and so I don't know if he ate it or he let the dogs eat it, as usual. It's the dogs. He fed the dogs our food, and he's always doing that. It's really tiring, and now he's bitching at me to make bread, and I don't want to. And then I know he's gonna, well, as soon as Eli gets back from work, from Black Hat, he's gonna start complaining to him, saying that she didn't cook for me. Then Eli's gonna turn around and say, well, kick her out. I told you so many times, kick her out. So that's the drama that he's gonna start playing, and he's just bullshitting. And the further bullshit that he bullshits about is me stealing items that belongs to him. And I told him so many times, go to the courthouse with the Navajo Nation, and then file papers against me that I'm stealing, and that way I can be properly searched. But last time, I got accused of meth by that dumb dipshit that's talking in there now. He's always doing that. Stupid. I don't know why he does that. I think he just chokes over his saliva. I don't know, man. So that day, my father was burning plastic. It's usually plastic from these things. This is a soldering iron for electronics. It's usually, sometimes you use that item, something like that, and I don't know what my father was using to burn plastic, and he was doing something in his room, my dad. So, and then Eli gets up and he thinks that it's meth. Okay, I got a cousin that takes that. And so Eli's jeopardizing the fact that I have a family relative that's like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start mentioning names. I should. And I think he's also, my young brother is also stealing from his job. And then he talks proudly about, oh, my job called me in and so got fired. So Eli got a call on his phone. See, he's an attention seeker. He'll scream and shout. And it's like a person with autism, when those autistic people keep yelling and screaming. That's what he'll keep doing. If you really want to understand the relation of his losing of his hearing, right there, shouting. For more than 40 years, he's been shouting. I'm going to be 47 in a few more weeks. And so next month I'll be 47, and he is still shouting. I get ringing in the ears, everything. He claims to have dementia. He doesn't have dementia. It's ADHD. This guy's mental health is all there, and the only language that he's very fluent in, that he can understand 100% is the Navajo language. Because his mom whored around in Michigan twice, having my Uncle Norman, my Aunt June, then him and down in California. Why she had sex with all those different men? She's crazy, is all I can tell you. So, talking about the Bible saying don't be messing around in here, this is what's going on. And he claims that he's a holy person, but he's not. He even admitted to young girls saying that he was whoring around in Vietnam. I'm sure there is people that do witchcraft and such and all. So, and every cultural and religion has that. And then doing my own research online on that, it's crazy. Just because more than 400 to 500 years ago, the poorest people got blamed by King James. If you didn't come to church, that means you're into witchcraft. That was according to King James Version, the New Bible Version. And then what sucks is the Catholic Bible, the Christians, and I'm sure it's the other religious Bibles, Baptists, Mormon. I don't like Mormons. I don't like that polygamous state of Utah. I swear. Polygamy and child pornography and everything that goes on. And then they demonize dogs. Just because you're not allowed to have a Rottweiler, to own one in that state. They should make it illegal to be Mormons in that state. Just like the Jews keep complaining about being victimhood. But you know what? There's a lot more chaos going on, so it's just not the Jewish people. Barely now that the different tribes of people of Native Americans, like the Navajos, Hopis, the Apaches, the Lakotas, and there's others. So it's the first time ever hearing the stories of Native Americans, the indigenous people complaining here in America. So I don't know. Why is it in 2013, not 2013, 2023 and 2024 this year? Why is it now? Why couldn't it be 40 years ago? Or longer than that? 70 years ago. My dad's 75. So don't distract yourself because an old man like my father who's uneducated, he doesn't know how to read and write. All he knows how to do is sign his name and that's it. And he keeps coming to me about NTUA, which is the Navajo Nation authorities, saying that they could help him with changing out the... I don't know. There's different stories. I'm getting ahead of myself too. Sheesh. Help with the electrical fuse box. You know, a couple of years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I was mentioning to my father that a electrical fuse box for this double wide mobile home could be bought for under $100, most likely under $100 because it was like $89 and something cents online at the time with Home Depot. My dad could have bought that and bought the right voltage, which is 15, according to one of the Navajo Nation, the NTUA on the Navajo Nation, and then that one of the representatives said, well, we only take care of, which is the electrical lines, and that's what they do. That's all they take care of. They're not contractors. They have listed contractors that can help him, yes, but it's going to come out of his own money. So he's thinking that NTUA is going to pay for it. I don't think so, because the Navajo Nation, with this new Navajo Nation president, I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's very exotic. I don't know. I guess they're going back to learning how to spell their native names instead of all this English names of the slave language that other religions and high authority of see what I mean? This is what he's gonna keep doing. I mean, all he'll do is just snap at you with attitude by shouting at you. He's just shouting, doing a snapping shout attitude at anyone, even his dogs. Well, get back to what I was saying is that the representatives that take care of the electrical lines, they said they only take care of those. They don't take care of but they do have people that contractors that can do the electrical rewiring and then the electrical box. But that's gonna end up coming out of his pocket. What I was saying about the new Navajo Nation president, he mentioned on his Instagram, which I follow him. He was saying, see, he's doing it for attention. I'm not gonna make bread. I'm tired of making bread every day. Tired of making it every day. I don't know. That's all he feeds is his dogs are table food. And they got bag of cat food to feed them. And the poor dogs outside that hardly get any meals like me. Once a day they get fed once a day and that's it. Only just like a small amount of food. That's it. I mean, he's got a lot of dogs. See, he's just acting out. He's acting. Like I said again, he's acting out because he's using his hard of hearing as an excuse. That's all he's gonna do is just shout. Don't believe doctors when the patient has ADHD, a short attention span, attention seeking, always interrupting somebody when they're talking. Right now he's coming into my room to bitch at me to make bread. See, so right now he's quiet and he's gonna start paying attention to what I'm saying in my room right now. And he's gonna completely deny it. He knows I'm talking in my room. See? Swearing. That's all he's gonna bitch is his dogs and feeding them. He's gonna always say, "You guys don't do shit." Well, guess what? Did he mop up his dog turds and dog pee in the kitchen? No. Who did it? I did. No. See how he treats his dogs. This is how my mom went nuts. Sasha became very narcissistic. Because that's how she turned around and she was teaching my young brother and I and my eldest sister that how to fight each other. Because she was the one that was starting it. Whatever my mom couldn't get out of him, he would just turn around and gaslight her and piss her off. Gallup blood test. I don't care. I don't know if he's talking to me or he's talking on his phone. He's acting. I'm tired of making bread. And that's what the dogs do. They fight each other. That's what a narcissist does. Gaslighting a situation for your family members, your closest family members. For, say, like if I was in a relationship and my husband wasn't doing anything for me, and I would turn and snap on the children. That's one of the reasons why I never got married. I don't want to have children, because children are a liability. They're protected by law. It's just too much to be married to a Navajo guy on the reservation. You know why? Because I'm just going to make up this percentage that 80 or 70% of Navajos believe in witchcraft. I do believe it at times, but it's scary when you wake up to hear your dad's voice like I did. And I walked in to see if he's okay, and then he's all right. He's sleeping. This is, maybe because it's all that stress and all that, but then also, like, I had this other experience too when I was just sitting here in my room wide awake, and I overheard a voice saying my dad's name, Leo, and I was like, not like kind of saying it like that, but kind of like a shadow talk, hissing kind of sound, like Leo, kind of like that. And then, sure enough, nobody was home. I got up, I walked around, I looked around the premise. There was nobody. It's not because I was stressed, because I was happy because my young brother and my dad weren't home. Nobody else was home. Because the next neighbor is that way, like half a mile or mile. Then there's the next one that's down that way. It's a mile, actually a mile. So I'm telling you, there is some weird activities going on that I can hear, but it's every once in a great while that you can hear stuff like that. I'm just waiting for him to keep talking. I don't want to make bread. He's just gonna feed it to the dogs. He's just gonna eat a couple of them and that's it. Then he's gonna ask me the next day again, make bread. I want some fried bread. Well, I'm not gonna keep making fried bread. No. Talking about wasting money on groceries. Why in the world have money to have groceries on the table when you're just gonna turn around and feed 90% of the table food to the dogs? My God, this is why I don't want to marry a Navajo guy. I don't want to be involved with them. It's that mental psychoticness. That's why the smart people are keeping away from dumb people like that keep running to medicine man every time. I mentioned in a previous video a couple of days ago that he put in a log of ants. Of course, I did that many times. Nothing bothered me. I'm sure many of other people did that. It never bothered them. But I'm telling you the truth. He tells me that, oh, when I get paid again, I need to go give some money to the medicine man and do prayers for me because I put a log of ants in the fire in the wood stove. Well, guess what? Everybody does it. I'm tired of this every day. It sucks here on the Navajo Nation. When I was working for Bashes, this is all I ever heard from customers is complaining. And then the customer turns around and calls and then tells the managers, this is what your cashier said. This is what they said. They always say something stupid to get you fired. Doesn't say anything. There was another woman too with getting wick. And she says that, oh, this place needs to burn. Well, you know what? If she wanted that bad, she should have burned it herself. Just because that wick book, like the guidebook and everything, was saying that you can only get this and this and that and that. But then it's according to what she gets on her wick. And what's allowed on her wick applications. Because when you're a cashier and you process all that stuff in, you have limitations. Because every register is programmed for wick. What you can and cannot get. They even customers engaging in their personal problems with the cashier. Always that problem with customers. But it does it again. I'm mentioning it again. What reason does John Walton, the Walmart Empire dude, what is it for him to say that customers are always right? In what way are they right? A right to harass? Does that give a customer to harass? No. For all those people that harass, They should sue the Walmart company since there's these grocery stores and all these department stores, these big name stores are getting robbed for their makeup and clothes, including cell phone departments. I think the whole world can go ahead and start suing the Biden administration. Even AOC, Alexandria, she's full of herself. She's a lie. I mean, she's a 100% liar. She knows when she's being interviewed. The squad team, they should be all ashamed of themselves. Because what if that corruption prevails and then what are they going to do? And they're women. Women don't have an option. In Muslim country, in the Middle East, women are not allowed to drive. They're not allowed to be escorted without a man. The husband has to be there to escort them. Or at least she has to be married with kids to walk around freely, at least. It's going to be like that here if it continues on, this corruption. And it's all going to fall back on them. The squad. I don't know, man. Watching the news about a guy setting himself on fire. You know, that's that person's problem. Not the world. Not the United States problem for somebody trying to protest some cause. I don't get it. Then once I see a civilian going over here, putting a, what do you call it, a fire extinguisher on a person, and where's the officers? The officers are there, but no fire extinguisher? There should be fire extinguishers in cars. It's a city. New York. New York. No fire extinguishers in a car? God, there's all these safety tips on driver's manuals and books. And a fire extinguisher is the main one. Blanket, flashlight, jumper cables, all the necessities. The spare tire, all the tools to change your tire. You got your car manual telling you how, giving you instructions on how to change a tire. No fire extinguisher. Crazy, man. Crazy. That's how my dad acts, like Joe Biden. He's very horny. My father even goes to car dealerships and starts talking to these white guys about whorehouses and here and there, and where my father used to, I guess, whoring around. See how brainwashed my father is into this whoring? And he's even including a narcissist. Learning about them, what I learned about them, is they play a victim. I don't want to ever give grandkids to this guy, because he yells at every kid, man. Even my youngest brother's child yells and screams at her. So she really doesn't like him. And she doesn't like the dogs, and his little dogs just barks and nips at her. And when she was younger, they bit her right in the face and all that. So she's petrified of dogs now. She doesn't like them. My niece. So right now he's quiet. I can hear his wheelchair. Or could be the dog's chewing on bone. See, he's quiet. Don't want to make bread. Fuck him. Fuck him and his goddamn bread. Fried bread. If he buys more flour, I'm not making it. He's got my young brother. There's men here on the Navajo Nation that make it. They have a yearly contest, and some of the men make fried bread. They're not contests to win. I don't see why he can't learn it, because I caught him learning it. Caught him when I was younger, and he had his camper back on that side somewhere, and then He used to have it, and he was in a frying pan. He was frying potatoes, and he was making fried bread on the side. Guarantee you he did. I guarantee it. Guarantee he did make it. He did. You can take my photos. You can go to show my photos to a psychic. They're going to tell you everything. They're going to say she's telling the truth. She's not a liar. What does it say in all the religious Bibles? Thou shalt bear no witness against thy neighbor. Meaning don't lie. Not just about your neighbor, but don't lie in any cost of any way. Don't lie. Right now I'm thinking about just dumping out the rest of the bluebird flour because I'm tired of making bread. I don't like making bread all day, every day. Because he's just going to feed it the rest of it. Again, millions of times I'll mention it over. He's going to feed it to the goddamn dogs. I believe 100% my young brother mentions before, he could have worms in his stomach. Parasites in his stomach. The dogs licks his face. Even his wounds, I tell the doctors about it. I left messages. This guy's type 2 diabetes. But I haven't read yet if it makes you really lethargic or something like that. I guess I don't know what they're using it. Honestly, I never looked up the word lethargic. So I really don't need it. Shouldn't have used that word, stupid. But I think he's really hungry all the time. He wants you to financially he wants you to support him that way. Not he wants you to go down to the store and buy some very expensive food and then fry it up. And then lay out all the main courses next to it. Who has the money that on a daily basis 3 times a day? Nobody. Unless if you're rich. His VA is more than $3,600, and just recently I saw that it shrank to $600 somewhere. And so I can change my mind on saying this, change my wording actually, is more than $4,500 every month he gets. And what does he does with that? He splurges it any way he wants to. He splurges it anywhere, and in all 3 vehicles, he was acting badass in front of all the family relatives on his side, saying that, "Look, man, I'm rich." But then for all 3 vehicles that he had, one got stolen in Albuquerque, a Kia Sportage, a Silverado. This one's a Colorado. He still has. Okay, it's a Silverado 4-door, 4x4. My young brother damaged the hell out of that one. I mean, that truck was like... The steering wheel, man. It was scary to be in that truck driving it. Crazy. So that vehicle got repoed. Because my brother, my second oldest sibling, he said that it was there, but it's gone. So that repo company found it, picked it up, it's repoed. Now he has that 2020 Colorado, and it's on repo. All 3 of them with auto insurance was like more than $300 and something for all 3 insurance, and then getting the registration, license plates, all that done, and then for all 3 vehicles, it was more than $2,000, close to $3,000. I know it was more than $2,000. I ain't guarantee it. More than $2,000 for all vehicle payments, because one was over $800. The other pickup truck was 700, and the Kia Sportage was over 500. So I think the Kia Sportage I just recently read about was 585 and 13 cents. That red Silverado, that one could have been paid off by now. The 2020 vehicle would have been paid off, and the only thing he would have had left was a Kia Sportage. It's all gone, but not all of them. But it's just 2 of them. But now he's on the Navajo Nation, and you can only drive it on the Navajo Nation, and that's why he refuses to go to his appointments. See why he's quiet? I'm telling you the truth. I know I skipped a story about the Navajo Nation president helping with the VA, the veterans that need homes. I was gonna refer that to him, but then he's gonna want this big old, more than 26 years old house. I did mention before, it's a double wide mobile home. And I'm telling you the truth, man. It stinks like shit and dog shit and piss. And when my mom died, before she died, she mentioned that when I'm long dead and gone, this house is gonna look like shit. Yes, it looks like shit today because those are her words. And my father's reckless driving killed her. Yes, because she constantly said over and on a daily basis is that your father's gonna kill me with his reckless driving, and he did. And he blames it on her. That's what I mean about narcissism. He blames it on her. He's the one that gaslighted her to have an attitude. Why can't my father just buy her what she wanted and shut up? Men are the weakest thing on this reservation. They are weak. These poor men can't afford lavish items for their girlfriend because that's what the girl is expecting. See, now he's being a center of attention to... I was brushing my teeth. That's what was in my shirt, my toothbrush. Let's see what the hell he's crying about again. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. Saying the actual words my mom used to say. See, his wheelchair is right there. Complains about the dog food. What are you crying about now? What are you crying about?
Bring my wheelchair, my wheelchair put in the truck.
For what?
In the front.
Where are you going again? Guess he's going to the hospital like he said. See? This guy's messy. Ugh. Can't stand it. This is all he does. Hospital. He's going to Gallup in that little half-ton. The way he treats it, it's really bad. Revs the engine like hell. Just keep paying attention.